When it comes to building healthy friendships, before we even get into the how of building healthy friendships, we really need to look at the who. In other words, who should we be friends with? By the end of this video, you'll know some qualities to look for when you're considering being a friend with someone so that you can build healthy friendships in your life. My name is Dr. Park. I'm a psychologist for youth, and here at Through the Waters, we nurture youth mental health. For those of us seeking to build healthy friendships, there are a few things we can keep in mind as we consider being friends with someone. In this video, I'm going to focus on 4 general qualities we might look for in an individual friend, rather than qualities of the friendship itself, like the relationship. I do have a couple of other videos about qualities of the friendship to look for, so I'll link to those in the description below. So in terms of qualities in a friend, when we're thinking about being friends with someone, one sign we can pay attention to is how this person treats not only us, but other people as well. There's kind of a cliche about dating, for example, that you should pay attention to how your date treats the people waiting on them in a restaurant or a coffee shop. I think that is very true and very telling, and it's just as true and telling to see how a potential friend treats someone who is waiting on them in those settings, like a restaurant or a coffee shop. And we could extend this idea even further in friendships by saying, pay attention to how your potential friend treats their friends, especially when their friends are not in the room. Is the general pattern that they talk about their friends in a way that is positive, honoring, and protective? Do they seem to keep secrets that their friends have confided in them? Do they try to avoid slandering or disparaging, criticizing, or gossiping about their friends? The clue here is that however they're treating their friends is showing you how they will treat you as a friend. A second sign that I like to look for in friends is to pay attention to how I feel after being in that person's presence. After hanging out with a particular person a few times, do you notice a pattern of feeling generally positive afterward, like uplifted, lighter, more hopeful, joyful? Even if you talked about the most difficult or tragic or depressing topics, which I hope our friendships can have room for those, do you still feel more connected or understood or have a greater sense of clarity after being around this person? The flip side of that would be, after being around this person, after being in their presence a few times, do you notice a pattern of feeling like confused, agitated, embarrassed, ashamed, guilty, or somehow you feel smaller? Does the world or the future somehow seem darker after you've spent time with this person? Did they say or do things that are eating away at you inside afterward, even if you're not sure why it's bothering you? As we pay attention to how we feel after being in someone's presence, I like to imagine that each of us is like a boat going through the waters. Just as a boat leaves a wake or a ripple effect behind it, so do we as humans leave a wake behind us after we've been in a room or interacted with people. By the way, as a total aside, if you're finding this video valuable so far, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. That means you won't miss out on mental health education and tips whenever we release new videos. It also means that YouTube will share this video more broadly with people who could benefit from it. Okay, so going back to friendships, there's like 2 more signs I'm going to share with you as to what to look for in a potential friend. A third sign is a saying that therapists have. This is a therapist cliche for you. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. In other words, look at this person's past in terms of their actions, words, and decisions, and how they've treated other people. Most of us default to continuing our same behavior into the future. So you can kind of guess how this person is going to act in the future and treat you and others based on what their patterns have been in the past. That being said, I also hold huge hope for people being able to change, so that is a reality as well, both are true. But when it comes to choosing friends, I like to default to imagining what this person would be like in the future if they continue their current patterns. What would that look like? Related to that, a fourth and final sign to be looking at when considering whether to be someone's friend is the question, is this someone I want to become more similar to in the future? I mentioned this in a previous video about relationships, but we probably become more similar to our 5 closest people over time. We kind of become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Therefore, it makes sense that we should be careful who our closest people are, because we are going to become more like them as the months and the years go by. Good food for thought, right? So there's 4 signs to be paying attention to when thinking about whether you should be friends with a given person. These are just my top of mind thoughts. I'm sure there's a million possibilities here, so by all means leave a comment and share what signs you look for when considering whether to choose someone as a friend.